Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. We are here, as you can see my background, we are here to discuss Encanto. I hope I'm saying it right. But let's get into it. This was a great movie. I know it is a children's film, but adults are gonna watch it and take away some things from the movie as well. So, the, where am I pointing? Look at how they do my guy Bruno. Bruno deserves justice. He was not given the justice he deserved in this movie. But anyway, so the moral of the story is we have I can't point correctly. Grandma Abuela, uh, she's the grandmother of the family. Her and her husband were um, displaced from their home, and she lost her husband. And in the midst of that, like this burning candle comes from like out of the ground, out of the sand, and it never goes out. And with that candle, they were given a miracle. And with the candle came a house, like a magical house that, like the floors and things move. And she had triplets. So with the house, as they became of age, as soon as they touched the doorknob, whatever, like when the door opened and whatever was behind the door, that was their magical gift. So her three children are right here. This is Mary Bell's mom. I forgot her name and I hate it. But she can cure people by feeding them food. And then her sister, Peppa, she controls the weather. And my thing is, it's like, does she control the weather like 24/7? Because her mood, like depending on what her mood is, that's what the weather can turn into. And I'm gonna get this out the way now. All of their magical gifts sucked. Let's just go down the line. Because who wants to be cooking 24/7 to save people? And if her, Lord, if her like her attitude and her mood is solely like what the weather is, who's going to be happy 24/7? Nobody. Who, and like nobody's kissing her butt to make her feel good 24/7 either. Because it's like sometimes if you getting on my nerves, oh, it's going to be an argument, honey, and we're going to get into it. So you're going to be upset. It's going to rain today. It's going to be thundering and pouring around here if you get on my damn nerves. Um. So yeah, and then my good man Bruno. Let me do my hands. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna get it together. Bruno had vision, so he could see into the future. Um, but at this point, we don't talk about Bruno. And then Mama had two children. No, three children. Yeah, because it's Maribel, our good main character. Then we have Isabella, who is so perfect, and her magical gift is flowers. She can create flowers and decorate at the drop of a hat, which I mean, I guess it's good for parties and it looks nice if you just want a nice area, but like in the grand scheme of things of gifts, like okay. Like, and then Luisa, my girl in the back, mad strong. You see her holding up the Hercules, holding up the donkey, which that's another thing, because you see my girl moving bridges, moving churches, collecting donkeys. Who doing all this manual labor for free? And Granny, I can't stand her. Oh my god, oh, I can't stand that one. But we're gonna get into it. Let me continue with the story. So the story starts with Mary Bell getting dressed and three kids like from the town come because they're like they want to know what the gifts are, and they can't remember everybody's name, and just going down the line of what everybody gets is, oh my bad, Dolores right here with her cute self. Dolores can hear. Dolores nosy as fuck. Cause that's another thing. Cause hearing some shit that you don't want to hear, that's a burden. Like who? I didn't ask for this. I did not want to hear this. This ain't got nothing to do with me. But then what's my guy name right here? I forgot his name. But he can shapeshift into people. So it's like, as we see in the movie, Maribel gonna think she talking to Dolores when actually she talking to him. Anywho, but this little boy with this coffee, cause my guy was on 1,000 doing all that hollering, cause he just like hyped up on caffeine, and he's just like, boy, how old are you? And he got his cup, honey, just sipping, like, answer the question. What's the powers? What are your powers? And it's like, bro, relax. But yeah, so she's running down who has what, who can do what, da, 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 da. And so they're like, what are your powers? And come to find out, she doesn't have any. She's the normal one of the family. Like I was telling one of my best friends, Seth, I was like, giving very much up in a way, like the one person in the family who doesn't have powers. But Granny ain't got powers either, which I don't understand. Because even if you were given the candle in the magical house, could that not have come with powers? Why does it have to be a coming of age thing? But like I said, up in a way, to me, same concept. Um, and so it's just like, damn. And like from that moment on, okay, let's get into that. Like everybody treated her like basically she wasn't shit. It's like, you really ain't gotta do that. You could move out the way, let somebody else do it. And you can tell her and her sister Isabella, they don't have a good relationship because Isabella's just so perfect. And she tells her, if you want to help, you can really help, like basically by getting out of the way. It's just like, I can help just like everybody else. And I hated her attitude. Isabella's attitude, as well as Mary, but it's like both of them were wrong. Because, well, not wrong. How can I put this a better way? Because Maribel, like, she had that good doer, am I saying that right? Do good attitude. Like, everybody in the family basically thinks I ain't shit, but, I love my family. I'm going to do what's right for my family. I want to please my family. And so she's not wrong. I just hated it though. I just felt like she should have been like, man, fuck this family, and I'll go do my own thing. But it's the night of where I don't think I'm in front of my guy, Antonio, my little baby right here. You can't even see his face. And I don't know which way to point, but my little guy right here with the animals. His gift is he can talk to animals and understand animals. And when he opens his door, his room is a fucking forest. And I'm just like, who is cleaning all this up? Are he just in here with these animals? Do he not stink? Like, what is going on here? But anyway, so after the night of his party, him getting his gifts, and everybody's like, yeah, I'm so glad he got a gift. And it's a perfect night. It's a wonderful night. And it's just like, Granny, why you ain't croaked yet? Like, I'm so tired of her. Because Maribel, like, she is standing off to the side, feeling like, okay, damn, I guess I am the loser of the family. Because it literally skips me and my cousin gets it. And then they take a picture. Everyone take a picture. Let's take a picture of the, what is it? Mardi Gras? Mardi Gras family. Oh, it's a Mardi Gras. Of the family. Sorry, I'm not good with these names. Let's take a picture of the family, the perfect family. And of course, everybody in the picture is like somehow showcasing their gifts. Isabella is like throwing up flowers. My girl in the back like this, holding up some shit. And she is just left to stand there like, and I was like, if we're gonna do that, then Granny, what you in the picture for? And you ain't got nothing. Like this house was presented to you, yeah, and given to you, but you ain't got no power. So get a picture. Anyway, so after that, this is when she discovers the vision of the house, breaking apart. And there's cracks in the house, and like basically it's about to be over. So she ran back into the party, like, there's cracks in the house, the house is falling apart. And this how you know the Granny ain't shit. Cause she knew that. And it's like she became panicked when she saw it. Cause it's like you were told that this was gonna happen, and you ain't do nothing about it. So she's like, show me. But of course, when Maribel takes her to the part of the house, there's nothing there. Like the house is perfectly intact, all that type of stuff. And so, what was it? The next morning, she goes to talk to her cousin, Dolores, the nosy one, and she's like, I know you can hear everything, like what do you know about the magic of the house? And it was actually this cousin over here. Nope, which way is my head going? This Zoom thing, I'm gonna get it figured out. But this cousin right here, he was shift into Dolores to get more breakfast. And she comes around the corner and says, I don't know anything. The only person that's worried about the house and the magic of the house is you. But if you want to talk to somebody, talk to Louisa, because her eye was twitching all night. So I think she's worried about the magic. So after breakfast, she follows Louisa into town, which I said that is annoying because she goes into town and everybody, Louisa, can you move this over here? She done moved the church like over a few feet just because the pastor felt like it. They call them father, don't they? Because I want to be respectful. Because the father felt like it. The donkeys got out again. So instead of y'all putting rope around y'all donkeys and having them tied up where they're supposed to be, you just call this girl into the town so she can pick them up and carry them back to where they supposed to be. Like y'all ain't got barns set up, ain't no bars around here. Like they not tied up nowhere. And so then we come into my girl song. What's her song called? I, I hate it. I just had it queued up too. Surface pressure. My girl rapping under the surface. Like, damn, I get tired too sometimes. Like, I don't want to be strong all the time, which is completely understandable. Because somebody said that they wish that she had been small instead of looking how she did, like being tall and big and strong. They wish she would have been small with the power of being strong. But I'm like, no, that's the point. Like, they need representation too. Like, you just look at me and automatically think like I can carry the weight of the world on my shoulder. And sometimes I want to be weak too. Like, don't just look at me and assume that I have it all. Because I get the thing of being small, like people underestimate you so you can show that you're big, but it's like then that defeats the purpose of having strength. Like they look at her like, and I could tell she was tired. She was like, sometimes I feel weak, sometimes I want to cry. She probably ain't got no was it prospects? I know words. Prospects as far as dating goes, because it's like, who gonna date her? Even though she's beautiful and very much an asset and probably has good conversation because she done seen a lot of shit. Like, but who gonna date her? That's another thing. Anyway, so she's like, girl, nothing, I got this. But it right after that, after she had the conversation with her, my girl started to feel weak. She couldn't pick up a donkey, and it's just like now it's time for oh no, but before that, so she goes to her auntie Peppa, like, Bruno and the cloud is over her head. We don't talk about Bruno. And it's just like, but if we did and we actually got some resolution as to why we don't talk about Bruno, like maybe the cloud wouldn't be hovering over your head. And so we get into the instant classic. We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. Hey, but Dolores rap, sing my part. Wait, where the words at? Don't get me shut down now. Don't start playing. Where my girl at? Cause we don't talk about. Hey, grew up in fear. Wait, what is it? Hey, grew to live in fear of brutal stuttering and stumbling. I can always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I associate him with the sound of falling sand. Shh, shh, shh. Like, girl, instant classic. I can't even stand my fears. Instant classic. Like, perfect, honey. And so it's just like a whole song of why we don't talk about him, and people saying, as soon as he tells you your future, basically your life is over. Which, this family business, who told the townspeople that they could get in on talking about Bruno. Talking about he told me my fish would die the next day. My fish was dead. That 25-cent fish was gonna die anyway, girl. Mister, he told me I would get a gut. If you knew that he told you that you would get a gut and you hadn't been working out and trying to do everything you did say, you basically just let it happen to yourself. Not Bruno's fault either. Um, Mister, he told me my hair, what is it? What did he say? He said all my hair would disappear. Now look at my head. And he had on a wig, a toupee, whatever you want to call it for the men. Um, you ever thought that was hereditary and your hair was gonna fall out anyway? My good bro was just trying to help you prepare for what was gonna happen in the future. Like all of y'all just dumping on him. We don't talk about him. And weatherman, weatherwoman, did you not think like even if he came and told you it looked like it was about to rain, don't you control the weather and say, like you've been doing this whole time, good thoughts, playing with your head, good thoughts, good thoughts. You could have easily said, Bruno, I ain't got time for your shit today. I'm gonna have a perfect wedding. And your thoughts, like, could it not change the weather? Talking about you had a perfect wedding with a hurricane, like no, that was Felix. Shout out to her black husband who was just like, girl, simmer down. Okay. Anyway, y'all. So our good sis Mary Bell, she goes and finds Bruno. Bruno actually never left. They thought he left. Um, but he actually been living in the walls this whole time. He never actually left the family. He couldn't leave the family. But nobody knows he's there. Which I don't understand how Dolores didn't hear him. Like I guess she said she could always hear him, but she's using it in like past tense. It's just like, so he been here this whole time, and you just ain't said nothing. But when it's time for dinner, and Isabella is getting married, or there's plans for her to get married to what I'm assuming is either like a good or a rich family in the town, so their families can come together and be even stronger. Um, she shows like she collected all like the pieces of the vision and put them together and told her daddy. Now her daddy married into the family, so he ain't got no powers either. But he tells her basically putting all the pieces in his pocket and say, "You did not find this. You don't know this. This ain't happened. Like all of this until this is over, and we get this marriage proposal like in the bag. Then none of this happened." But anyway, the door is open. So my good sis with the hearing, she heard all of it. I'm gonna stop pointing because it's not working out for me. She heard all of it. So when they get to the dinner table, she can't keep her damn mouth closed. She whispers to our shape-shifting brother here, and he passes it on to his daddy, who spits out his water across the table. Um, and they just trying to hear it like, come on, let's get this dinner over with before anything else happens. Like, let's just go, just get it over with. Um, but it also ends up being ruined because our good sis with the bionic ears spits it out like she got this and we're all doomed. And it's just like, you really couldn't keep that to yourself. You really couldn't. You just had to say that. Like, really, Dolores, you could have kept your damn mouth closed. And because I was so mad, I'm like, girl, really, the events that happened after this was really your fault. Because you didn't have to say nothing. I don't understand why she could not keep that in to herself. You were calm, cool, and collected this whole time. And you just, it's like word vomit. Like, now you can't shut the fuck up. Anyway, so this leads to her going back to Bruno, like, tell me what happened. I need to know what happened. Because Bruno, like, man, I don't do visions no more. I don't, we don't talk about me, remember? We don't, the visions, none of that. We don't do that. But she's like, no, I need to know what happens. And so he tells her, you're going to have to end up hugging someone, like, the house stays intact if you hug someone. Now, like I said, I know this is a kid movie, but during that, you could see in the silhouette it's her. I mean, it's the grandma by her hairstyle, how it's like flipped into the bun in the back. You knew it was her. But him, because I think he's straining so hard and looking, it's Isabella. So she leaves him and goes to Isabella and like, I know I messed up, but come on, let's bring it in, let's hug. And Isabella's like, man, you ruined everything. You messed up my life. And she's like, I've had to spend my whole life being perfect, even when I didn't want to be. But that's what's assumed of me, and I want to make the family proud. So that's what I do. So while you thinking you know this about me, you really don't know nothing. I have to appear this way, therefore I do. And she's like, I never wanted to get married anyway. I don't want to marry him, but it's what Granny wants, so that's what I'm gonna do. And so she's like, damn, she learned something new about her sister. And in the mix of them arguing, because Isabella is like so angry and she says something, it produces a cactus. Like a cactus just comes up from the ground. And Maribella's like, that's a big secret. Bringing it. It's like, girl, you are trying to force this hug. And of course, even if it was Isabella in the grand scheme of things, the fact that you're forcing it and there are no genuine feelings behind it, it wouldn't have worked anyway. Because you don't really, like, she can't stand her sister. Like, in the We Don't Talk About Bruno, because of course, while everybody is saying all the bad shit that Bruno told them, he told me that the life of my, what did she say? He told me the life of my dreams will be promised and someday be mine. And it's just like, Maribel was like, girl, like, of course, your answer is perfect in the grand scheme of things as well. Like, go on somewhere. Like, you are just, little perfectness. Isabel ain't never had a bad hair day in her life, all this type of shit. So it's like, of course, you perfect. Go. And she had to realize that wasn't the case. So, while they're finally making up, here come the grandma, like, why are you ruining everything? You are ruining everything. And so with them arguing back and forth, Maribel was like, no, actually, it's you. You don't really care about this family in the grand scheme of things. All you care about is the magic, which is true. It's like you shun everybody or make them, well, you shun her. And with you shunning her, everybody else really throws her shade as well. It's like the two husbands get a pass because they're not born into the family, like they married into the family. So they don't have the family blood in them for them to get a gift, and they grown already anyway, so I guess it don't really work that way. um and so, and then with everybody with their gifts, it's like you have to do this, the the community is counting on us, so this has to be done. So it's just like, it's never about family, it's about looking a certain way and appearing to be like the best of the best. So it's like we have to do this way. So it's just like, girl, why you talking about everybody else and talking about for the family? What do you do for the family besides bug the hell out of us and then throw a shade? Because it's, and that was another thing. Because it's like, as soon as it seemed like there was no magic there, it's just like Granny one, she didn't too much care about nobody. She just didn't want to lose that house. And so with them arguing and the family basically falling apart, the house falls apart. So it's just like, then Maribel, she runs off because she's feeling upset. Like, basically, I destroyed the house when all I was trying to do was save it. And she runs to the very place where grandma and grandpa got separated from each other. And grandma basically has to admit her wrong during like the last 15 minutes of the movie, which is so irritating because it's just like Coco. Like, the Coco grandmother realized that she was tearing the family apart and crushing her grandson's dream by not allowing him to, enjoy music and bring music into the household. I'm like, how do you tell a child from birth, like, we make shoes, this is all you're gonna do all your life? Anyway, other movie. So, they finally make up, and everybody's powers are gone, but we are family, like a giant tree, reaching out to the sky. We are family. So all of a sudden, everybody loves each other, and we gonna build this back brick by brick. And they got the house all put back together. And it's like, we don't really need magic as long as we got each other. It's all good. And my sweet little boy, Antonio, right here, he gives her the knob and says, this knob is just for you. And so when she puts the knob on the door and turns it and opens the door, the magical house pops back up. And like that's her power. And that was the thing, like when it was her ceremony and she went to reach for the door, like the door disappeared. So that was real fucked up. And that was another thing. It's like, why do you make this a gigantic party for everybody? Like basically you showing off. Like everybody come look at what else my family got, like how much better we are. It's like you didn't have to. Anywho, Encanto, it is a great movie. If you haven't seen it and you want to watch it, it could be a family night movie to watch. I encourage you to watch it, but it was just like the matriarchy of the family, or the matriarch of the family. Excuse me if I said that wrong. Um, they and it's I noticed that though, like no lie, like not even just Disney films and like learning about some Hispanic cultures because I know it's not all of them. Them quote unquote higher ups, and we just supposed to listen to them and do what they say. I don't like all that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little review of my terrible singing, and I hope to see you back for whatever else I do on the channel because I don't really have a set thing. Anyway, peace.